So, can you give me a little bit of field history here and what the farmer is trying to achieve?
Okay, so this field we're stood in is continuous maize, has been for a number of years. As you can see, we try and undersow the crop to retain the nutrients and also to hold the soil together over winter, which is best practice. This field was sown on the 15th of April this season, which was slightly earlier than the norm, but the conditions were good to go a bit earlier, similar in the rest of this area. The crop got going really well, first off, and we got moisture at the end of May, which really helped. I know in some parts of the country where they didn't get that moisture, the crops really suffered. So we've been lucky in this area that we got the right weather at the right time, and we've had really good maize crops this season. As you can see, this crop was undersown, so we sprayed the crop for weeds post-emergence, and then probably 10 days later we've come in and undersown in between the maize rows with the grass undersowing machine. And as you can see, it's established really well. Once the maize was taken off the field, obviously it's got access to light, and then it's grown on really well since then and given us a good cover going into the winter.
This last season, for many, moisture was a limiting factor. Now, you said that you did have a bit of moisture, but if you didn't have that moisture, would that have adjusted your decision to undersow the maize, or would you have maybe put it in post-harvest?
The moisture is a big factor in the success of undersowing your crop. The machine that we use here actually sows the grass seeds into the soil, so it's not broadcast. There are obviously machines that will broadcast the seeds within the maize crop, but our experience shows that that's a lesser chance of establishment and success. So we find by using a machine that actually sows the seeds within the maize row, we have more chance of success, and obviously you're preserving moisture by not cultivating too much of the soil. But ultimately the success will depend on the moisture that is within the soil already.
Selecting maize maturity is one of the pivotal bits about getting maize right, and picking suitability for land is always a struggle for plenty of growers. So what led you to pick an FAO of about 190 for this particular ground?
So this particular field, it's always a bit earlier than the rest of the farm. There's a couple of fields alongside each other here that we can maybe afford to push that bit more for yield, so we might be able to pick a later maturing variety with a bigger yield potential.
Yeah.
And it also would tie in harvest time with the early maturing varieties on the later maturing fields on the farm. So there's partly to do with tying in harvest dates and also maximising the potential of the field for the highest yield possible.